Welcome back everyone with the new episode of the same chapter, physical and chemical changes, and topic here is crystallization, evaporation, rusting. Okay, so first one is crystallization. So what is crystallization? You must have seen the crystal of sugar and salt. It is having a fixed shape, cubical shape. We can just observe the crystal. It is having fixed shape like a cube. Okay, so that kind of shape of a sugar or salt which is fixed, uniform, that kind of shape is called crystal of sugar and salt. And the process of obtaining crystal of sugar and salt is called crystallization. So let us check what is crystallization and what is crystal. It is in crystallization, the crystal of common salt, sugar, alum, all these are obtained from the solution of these substances. From the solution of sugar, salt and alum we can obtain the crystal of salt, sugar and alum. Okay, so and in solution, obviously such kind of substances are dissolved in water. So the solution means when salt and sugar or alum are dissolved in water, and from that solution when we get the crystal of sugar, salt or alum, then such kind of process is called crystallization process. And for crystallization of, like if we talk about the getting crystal of salt, then we can get the salt crystal by evaporating seawater. Okay, so now crystal. Common salt sugar particles are found in a uniform shape and size, that is cubical, and such uniform shape is called crystal shape. Okay, so we can observe the crystal of sugar and salt at our home also. Now how we can get the crystal of sugar and salt? So basically if we talk about salt, then seawater is collected in a shallow pit, shallow pond, and in that pond that seawater is allowed to evaporate. We have to just leave that seawater to evaporate from the solar radiation, and after evaporation what will happen? The water will evaporate due to the solar radiation, and finally the crystal of salt is left out in that shallow pit. And such process of evaporation of evaporating water is the process of evaporation, and then we can get the salt, crystal of salt. Okay, so just like that we can get the crystal of sugar as well. We can get the crystal of sugar from the solution of sugar solution, that is the sugarcane solution, sugarcane juice. After heating and evaporating the sugarcane juice, we can obtain the crystal of sugar. Now next one is rusting. Rusting is also a chemical change. If we talk about crystallization, so a crystallization is not a chemical change because it is already found in the solution form of that substance. Like salt is already dissolved in water and we are getting the salt after evaporation of water. So that is not a chemical change. Just like that we are getting the sugar crystal from the sugarcane solution, that is already found in the sugarcane solution. So that is also not a chemical change. So crystallization and evaporation is not a chemical change. But if we talk about the rusting, then rusting is a chemical change. These are physical change. Understood? Crystallization and evaporation are physical change. These are physical change. And rusting is a chemical change, because in case of rusting, brown deposition can be observed over iron object, and we can't get back that iron again. So when a new substance is formed, that kind of change is chemical change. So rusting is a chemical change. So what happened in rusting? When iron exposed to moist air, then a brown layer is observed over iron, and this layer is rust, and the process is rusting. So that brown layer that can be seen in iron is called rust, and the process of formation of rust over iron object is called rusting. Clear? Now prevention of rusting. Is there any way to prevent rusting? How we can prevent rusting? How we can prevent the deposition of brown layer over iron objects? So for prevention, there are few things like greasing or oiling or painting, galvanization, electroplating, alloying. All these are process of prevention of rusting. So first one is greasing or oiling. If we apply grease or oil over iron object, and in that case it will not react with air or water. So rusting is basically reaction between iron with air and water. Moisture means oxygen and water. Okay, so greasing or oiling will not allow, it will not let iron allow to react with oxygen and water. So greasing and oiling can prevent rusting. Now next is painting. If paint will paint the iron object, then again there is disconnection between the moisture with iron, so it will also prevent rusting. Next one is galvanization. Galvanization is a process of deposition of iron object in solution of zinc. So again there will be a layering of zinc can be observed, can be formed over the iron object, and it will there will be again disconnection between iron and moisture, so it will prevent rusting. The next one is electroplating. Electroplating means the deposition of one metal over another metal by the process of by supplying electricity, by the process of supplying electricity, electrolysis. So it can be seen that in some metallic iron object, a layer of some other metal, maybe copper or other metal, can be observed over iron, and finally there will be disconnection between iron and the moisture, so it will also prevent rusting. Next one is alloying. The formation of alloy of iron will prevent rusting, and stainless steel is an example of alloying, that is alloy of iron, and finally it will prevent rusting, because rusting is a process of reaction between iron and moisture, that is water and oxygen. So whenever there will be जब भी कोई चीज़ रोकेगा आयरन को रिएक्शन मॉइस्चर से रिएक्शन करने से, that process will prevent rusting. I hope the chapter is clear to you, and all these processes are you understood the topic, all these topics. Now you look at the screen.